Random sampling. Applying the scientific method to the study of the mind and behavior can be challenging. We must study groups of people or populations. The entire set of individuals we want to understand is the population. The subset of the population we choose to actually study is the sample. Not any sample will do. You need a representative sample that accurately reflects the total population of interest. We can maximize our chances for a representative sample by using random samples. This is where every member of the population has an equal chance of being selected, and the selection of one person has no influence on who is selected next. The difference between population and study population. The study population is the group where we can actually draw a sample from. This is because people might have to fit a certain criteria to take part in the study. This can be things like having a driver's license or having a specific degree. Measures of central tendency. We have to look at differences in groups as the first step to comparing their averages. The mean is the average measure for a group calculated by adding up all the scores and dividing that sum by the number of individuals in the group. The measure of central tendency is an indication of where the score is in a sample cluster. An outlier is a score that is much greater or much rather than the rest that is in the sample cluster. The median is a measure of central tendency that is the value that falls in the middle of all the scores, such that half the scores are higher and half are lower. The mode is another measure of central tendency that is the single score that is most commonly found among participants. Frequency disruptions are graphs in which a score is noted on the x-axis, while the number of people who have each score is noted on the y-axis. When we collect scores from a large number of people, the frequency disruption often forms what is called a bell-shaped curve. Psychologists love statistics because it is rare that any two samples are alike. One problem with psychologists is that they're testing for more subtle influences. Scientists rely on inferential statistics, mathematical procedures that help infer what the population is like based on the sample we've gathered. The range is the highest and the lowest scores to use as a rough gauge of variability. Variance is a statistical measure of the amount of variability in a population or sample. The standard deviation is the average amount that each individual score falls above or below the mean used to express variance. The p-value is the probability that the difference between two samples could occur by chance alone. Statistically significant is a p-value chosen by convention as an indicator that the differences are not likely due to change. In psychology, this is generally that p is less than 0.05.